I don't even know what to say. Good morning, my friends. It's Monday morning. It's the big day. Concrete is about 30 minutes out. So what I've done is get a hose out here. Apparently they're gonna need some water to clean out their truck. I've also sprayed down the whole pad that's gonna get freshly poured today. It's so bone dry here. The silt, that is dry enough to actually suck the moisture out of the fresh concrete on the lower half, and that can lead to cracks, loss of structural integrity, things like that. So I believe this is soaked down. I'm anxiously awaiting their arrival. Dad and I are gonna do this pour, and then I'll get some better camera angles and things doing the finishing process where we have a little more time. I'm actually really nervous. This has been a lot of time and effort. It's been a lot of work for Dad, for me. That's most of all a lot of money. So I just hope it really turns out nice. I just hope it's strong. It doesn't have to be perfect. But here we go. In my nervous energy, I'm just going to keep recording. We've laid out all of our tools that we'll need over here. Nice square shovel. That's a bull float. Those are 6-foot handles for the bull float. This here is a concrete pull and a rake. So those will help us distribute all the concrete as we go. The bull float is for slightly after the process. That's exciting. Can't wait to try that. Still waiting for them to show up any minute now. Main pour is done, and that kicked my so hard, but we're good. I did most of the pulling here. Dad went around and he was floating the edges with the rake. You want to push it down and just really gellify that mix to the edge, and that's what you saw him doing with the rake around the whole edge. And so now we've got our board and it's time to screed all the way across. Okay, that is the screeding process in fast forward. It is much more difficult than it looks on time lapse, and this is kind of what you're going to end up with. It is pretty darn level with that board straight across. You have the scoring, so it's not perfectly smooth. You have some rougher, drier spots. So the next part of this is bull floating, and that's that big flat metal piece on a couple of handles, and that'll get slid back and forth, and what it's doing is breaking up that molecular hardening, bringing the more liquid components to the surface, which can then smooth out. You can see it's definitely starting to set and dry over there. We keep putting water on it. It's very dry here, and that is the next step you're going to see again in time lapse. We're pressed for time, and I can't really be filming in the middle of any of these steps, so here we go. I don't even know what to say. I started recording, I'm like, well, We've floated it. You saw the time lapse. We just did that for like 2 hours. Dad was hand troweling and edging some of the outside borders. And I am exhausted. This is gonna be a little off. This was absolutely an enormous project for 2 people. One incredibly inexperienced person to try to tackle, but I think we did it. Here we are so far. So it is not perfect. There are some drier spots with some bumps. Little bit in there. But this is all floated, and I think we're both pretty happy with it. Right now it's just setting up a little bit more, and we're gonna take a broom to it. We're gonna broom finish it. There are many options when it comes to finishing concrete. I do not need perfect mirror shine. This is a garage. All I need is for it to be strong, solid, and cleanable once I seal it. And I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do an epoxy and seal it all in. It'll make it look good, it'll make it strong. But that's where we're at. Next, we're gonna do some broom finishing. And it's acting kind of like a soft squeegee. It's creating some texture, which is good because honestly, it's too big of a surface for the 2 of us to make this absolutely perfect. Just kind of evens it out, texturizes it a little bit. That will promote adhesion for whatever paint. Good. So I'm doing a little bit of water when Dad needs some more wetness to squeegee out. There we go. Yep. So that's this incredibly tedious process. That's brooming. That's your broom finish. And this is just a matter of opinion, you know. Some people, that's absolutely not good enough. And for me, I like uniform imperfection, so that looks fantastic to me. It is gonna get sealed. I haven't decided if I'm just gonna put a bunch of paint down on it or if I will fill it all and level it with epoxy. But it looks like it did really well. And you know, this isn't a step-by-step perfect tutorial of how to work concrete. There are professionals that do this for their entire life. And frankly, the 2 of us, we were losing it. We really thought it was getting away from us over here by the time we were pushing it all, screeding it along. But I think we caught up, and just a little bit of extra water, keep it going. And I'm really happy with how this is looking, so we'll give this a little bit of time and get it all covered for the night. It is gonna get a little cold tonight. It's not cold right now. I guess another little detail, we started this at about 10:30 a.m. when concrete got here. It was about 50 degrees, went up to about 65 throughout the day. It is high afternoon now, wind is roaring, and we're losing temperature again. In another couple hours, it'll be back down to 50. Through the night, it is going to drop down to about 32 to 34 degrees. The concrete should generate enough of its heat covered with plastic, blanket, and tarp, and it should stay warm and set, and it'll be warm again tomorrow for the second half. I think it'll all be all right. I'll tell you what, this thoroughly kicked my ass today. I'm like hurting everywhere. This is insane. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to finish it. And that's why there are crews of guys that do this. They are pouring, and then they're spreading, and there's a guy with a hose with water where they need it, and bull floating right behind them. Like, this is a fast process that we just barely got done on this size slab. So I hope the footage is okay. I really had to just cut corners. It's too fast of a job. I did not have time to be playing around with a camera in the middle of this. So there it is. You'll see the second half tomorrow.